Hey, yeah, let's cover circles. This is number 16 in our guided notes. Hmm. All right. So we're going to talk about the different parts of the circle. Um, and this is only going to give you the information you need to prepare for your next class. Okay. And so these are the formulas you need. Starting with, let me get rid of this light for a minute. I don't know if that helped or not. But what is a radius? A radius is from the center point. I don't think that helped. The center point of the circle to any point on the circle itself. So I'm going to draw a line to here. So from the center to any point on the circle is halfway across the circle as well, and it's called the radius, and it's notated by little r. And to find the radius, you can take the full distance across, and that's diameter, divided by 2. Okay. Or if you prefer to use decimals, it's 0.5 times the diameter. Either one works perfectly fine. The diameter is given a center point of a circle from one point on the circle directly through the center to another point of the circle, a straight line through the center from one point to another on the circle, is called the diameter. It's the full distance across a circle, and it's noted by little d, and diameter is equal to 2 times the radius. Notice the radius is half, the diameter is 2 of the radius. Okay. The circumference. Now, up to this point, we've called the parts around pieces, we've called them perimeters. But with a circle, we no longer have a perimeter. We have what's called a circumference. And it is the distance from one point on the circle. Oh gosh, let's see if I can do this. All the way around, staying on the circle. Never could stand the lines. Back to that same point. So it's the distance around a circle is called the circumference, and it's notated by a large C. Now, you can find the circumference 2 different ways. If you are given the radius, you can find the circumference by 2 times pi times the radius. Or if you're given the diameter, you can find it by pi times the diameter. Okay. And then the last formula you need to know is the area. And the area has to do with all of the space inside of the circle it's taken up. Okay, that is the area. It is notated by large A, and it have to be found using the radius. You have to have the radius, and it's pi times the radius squared. So knowing each of these formulas, we're going to come down here and get started. So the first one says find the diameter of the circle shown below, and it's given us our radius. So look at the formula for the diameter, and we're going to use that to find it. So the diameter is 2 times the radius. The radius is 2 meters. So 2 times 2 meters. The diameter is 4 meters. The diameter is going to have the same unit as the radius does. Okay. Now find the diameter of a circle with a radius of 6 feet. Again, the diameter is 2 times the radius. We have 6 feet for the radius. So our diameter is 12 feet. Okay. As you're going through this, please note, I am going to give you these formulas. If there's anything else you need for your 3x5 note card, put it somewhere where you can access it easily when it's time for you to do that. Okay. All right. Find the radius of the circle shown below. So again, the radius is the diameter divided by 2, and our diameter is 21 inches. So our radius is 21 divided by 2. Rosie, stop. Rose. She's stressing out because I'm not petting her. Gosh. 21 divided by 2 is 10.5. So our radius is 10.5. Do not forget your unit, and it is inches. Find the radius of a circle with a diameter of 10 meters. Okay, again, our formula is radius is diameter divided by 2. So the radius is 10 divided by 2. So it is 5 meters. All right, now we're going to talk about the circumference. Now, the circumference had two different formulas. You could use if given the radius, and you could use given the diameter. In this case, we have a radius given to us of 8 centimeters. So we just need to find the circumference for that. Circumference is 2 times pi times the radius. Okay. And you need to find on your calculator where the radius is. Where the pi symbol is. The pi symbol is right here. You are not going to use 3.14 for this class or for the next one. So I want to make sure that you understand where to find your pi symbol. And it's right there, just above the caret. All right, so we're going to go 2 times pi times our radius is 8 centimeters. All right, so 2 times pi times 8 equals, and we're going to get a decimal. You have to, because pi is a forever going number. It's a non-terminating number. All right, so we want to round to 2 decimal places. So let's make sure we understand that. Pause the video and attempt this part yourself. I want you to get comfortable with rounding, and I want you to round to where the 6 is. 6 is your rounding digit. Okay, so I've got 50.265. All right, 6 is my rounding digit. 5 is my test digit to see if I add 1 to 6 or I leave it alone. Well, it is 5, so I do add 1 to my rounding digit, which gives me the circumference is 50.27 centimeters. Okay, circumference has the same unit as the radius and the diameter. Now we've got finding the circumference with a diameter. And with this one, we can use pi times the diameter. So pi times 8 again. So pi times 8 equals, and it's 25.132. And we want to round to 2 decimal places. Pause the video and do this one yourself. Rounding digit, test digit. My test digit is less than 5, so I leave the 3 alone, and my circumference is 25.13 inches. Now let's look at the area, given the radius, which is fantastic. They're already giving us the radius. Because area, you have to have the radius. It's pi times the radius squared. All right. So our area is pi times our radius is 8. And we're going to square that using your calculator. Pi times 8. Now you can use caret 2, or we also have the x square you can use as well. Equals. And we want to round to 2 decimal places. So pause the video and do this part yourself. 201.061. Here's my rounding digit. 1 is my test digit. Because it's less than 5, I just leave the 6 alone. So my area is 201.06. Our unit is centimeters, but this is area, and area is always, always, always measured in squares. No matter what you're taking the area of, it is always measured in squares. Okay, let's find the area of another one, but this one is not the radius. This one is the diameter. So we can't find the area of a circle with a diameter. We're going to have to find the radius first in order to do that. So I'm going to come over here and find the radius given the diameter of 8. The radius is the diameter divided by 2. So my radius is 8 divided by 2. My radius is 4 inches. Okay, now I can find my area. Now, I'm going to want you to pause the video and utilize what we did previously to find the area now that we have the radius, and then come back to see how you did. Take it all the way to your 2 decimal places of rounding. Okay, so now we've got pi times the radius squared, pi times 4 squared. Whip out the calculator. Pi times 4 squared equals, and I got 50.265. All right, I did that so I could round. Here's my rounding digit. Here's my test digit. Because it is 5, I do add 1 to my rounding digit, and I get my area is 50.27. It's inches, but it's area, so we have to square it. Okay, find the area of the circle shown below. Write the answer in exact form and in approximate form. So one of the things you need to know about this is what we're doing here, because we're rounding and because we always have to round once we multiply times pi, that's going to be your approximate. It's not exact, it's your approximate form, okay? In order to have the exact form, you are going to have pi in your answer. All right, so let's find the area. We are given the radius, and it's pi times the radius squared. So pi times 25 squared. 25 squared is 625. So my area for my exact form is 625 pi. Don't forget your units, inches squared. This is the exact form. Okay. For the approximate form, we just need to multiply that 625 times pi. 625 is in my calculator, times pi equals, and we do want to round to the nearest, in this case, 10th, which is 1 decimal place. So 1963.49. I needed the 9 so that I can use it for my test digit. So my rounding digit is 4. My test digit is 9. Because it is greater than 5, I add 1 to my rounding digit, and the area is 1,963 and 5/10 inches squared. Last one. So with this one, we're going to find the circumference and the area, and we want to write our answers in both exact form and in approximate form. So with your circumference, instead of, well, we've got a diameter here, so you can do pi times d, but you want to make sure for your exact form, not multiply it times d, okay? Just have it in there. So I want you to pause the video, attempt this one yourself, and then if you want to, come back step by step. I'm going to start with the circumference, then I'm going to do the area, and I'll be doing them exact and then approximate for each, all right? Pause the video, come back to see how you did. So starting with circumference. I've got the diameter, so it's going to be pi times d. So pi times 26 feet. So my exact form is going to be C equals 26 pi, and it is feet. Our approximate form, we just multiply. C is equal to 26 times 5. And we're going to have to round to the nearest tenth, which is 1 decimal place. So 81.68. 6 is my rounding digit. 8 is my test digit. Because it is greater than 5, I add 1 to my rounding digit. So my circumference is 81.7 feet. Has the same unit as your diameter and radius. Okay, there's your exact and approximate form. Let's go to area next. Area, we have to know the radius. So I'm going to come over here and find my radius. Radius is diameter divided by 2. My diameter is 26. Divided by 2 is 13. And this is feet. Okay, so now I can find my area. My area is pi times 13 squared. 13 squared, remember, is also 13 times 13 is 169. So for my exact form, my area is 169 pi. Do not forget your units, feet, but this is area, so it must be squared. Okay, and then the approximate form, we just multiply them. Area is equal to 169 times pi, or I got 169 in, times pi equals, and we're rounding to the nearest tenth, which is 1 decimal place. So 530 and 0.92, 530.92. Here is my rounding digit. Here is my test digit. My test digit is less than 5, so it goes away. I don't do anything to my rounding digit. My area is 530.9 feet squared because it is area. That's it. Let me know what questions you have. Hopefully you took good notes, and give yourself some support on your 3x5 note card by preparing yourself whatever you need other than the formulas, because I will provide you those. See you in the next video.